And this is very much a full 30-minute panel. So with that, we have some of my favorite folks in crypto here. Kyle Ray, Kai Primo's jumping in, Peter Rosa, Drew Taylor, and Chris Wise, who is new to crypto, but I have dragged him, I wouldn't say kicking and screaming, he very willingly came along, so that he can share the concept of emotional cognizance and emotional awareness, and what he calls emotional quotient for life and trading. So we'll get into a lot of those concepts, but I'd like to turn it over to Chris for a quick synopsis, and then we'll allow the panel to debate there.
Great. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Awesome. So here's my question. It's actually LQ, or love quotient. And so
I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's all right. So so just to frame it, so EQ is emotional intelligence. That first was IQ, then we had EQ, and now we have LQ, which is love quotient. But here's the question I actually want to start off with is, how do you choose love, not fear? Because Brock Pierce asked that, or made that statement, let's choose love, not fear. And so how do you do that? And that's actually what LQ, love quotient, is all about. So generally speaking in life, we're taught to be kind and loving towards others. Like that's a good thing. And I think that just the whole idea of blockchain and cryptocurrencies and the decentralization is actually is expansion, which is the nature of consciousness and the very nature of love. And so I even see the very fact that we're having this conference is rooted in the very nature of love. But how do we as individuals on a everyday basis actually choose love? And so when I talk about raising your LQ, raising your love quotient, when we choose to be kind and loving towards ourselves, when we choose to start with self-love and learn how to very deeply love ourselves. I don't know how much time we'll have if I'll be able to break that down, but when we really begin to learn how to love ourselves, we actually fill our cups first. We actually start from a place of self-love, and then we just naturally show up more kind and loving in the world. And that actually transforms how we make decisions, how we're able to deal with this fucking crazy world of COVID and all the stuff that's happening. We can have a better relationship with our emotions, and it just really opens up some amazing things.
Agreed. Thank you so much, Chris. And just to kind of baseline so that I don't talk too much during this panel, for me, the emotional side comes to the love quotient and the not trading emotionally, not behaving on the day-to-day emotionally, kind of transcending those, gut feelings. For me, it's very difficult in these times as I'm looking at the data that indicates to me that we're going into something that's rather scary. I watched my grandmother go from a millionaire in 2007 to not being able to afford a place to live by 2009. That terrified me. My family, a lot of my family members have now moved into retirement. And so just kind of stemming that off and not letting fear live in you. And I mean, it affects you on a cellular level, which is why I'm so excited that folks like Kyle and Kai are here. I didn't even plan that. It just worked out that way. But they're so gratitude driven and service driven and just really emotionally cognizant human. So Chris Wise, I know you have many deeper things to get into, but I'd like to give the next few minutes over to you and potentially posit a question to the rest of the panel that they can ask they can give their last thoughts on.
Great. So you wanted me to go now?
Yes, please.
Okay, sure. So to actually get to the heart of LQ and love and really being able to love yourself, I would say it's creating a relationship with your inner child. In psychology, there's a aspect of the 3 parts of self. It's in transactional analysis. And so just to help kind of understand this conceptually, and so if we understand there's our adult self, which could be our ego or our active self, and what we're doing is we're loving the inner part of ourselves, our inner child or our basic self. And one of the most easiest ways to do this, to raise your LQ, to actually give yourself more love is to say the words, I love you, to your own inner child. And I'm going to invite you all to do this with me right now. And you can either do it silently or out loud. And you can close your eyes. I like to put, or not, I like to put my hand on my heart, and you can just repeat after me. I love you.
I love you.
I love you. I love you. And you can do that as much, or that's just kind of a little introduction, little warm up. You can do that as much as you'd like throughout the day. I recommend, see, you deserve more love, not less. And the more love that you actually anchor into your body through a practice like the I love you practice, the more safe that you will actually feel in your own body. The safer you feel in your own body, the safer you're actually able to be with difficult emotions like fear, sadness, loneliness, boredom, upset, loss, a lot of the emotions that probably all of us are facing to some varying degree right now. And to, even if you want to get ninja with this, I'm going to kind of give you level 2, a little quick version of level 2 right now. Let's say fear is an emotion that's coming up, you know, fear from whatever it is, right? So to the one who's feeling fear, I love you. To the one who's feeling fear, I love you. Or to the one who's feeling loss, I love you. To the one who's feeling sadness, I love you. This is, see, only you can love you in all the unique ways that you need and desire to be loved. And when you acknowledge these aspects of yourself that are these different emotions, you're acknowledging them and actually anchoring love into your body so that you can be present with them, so that the emotion can actually move through your body. See, without doing this, you actually carry that emotional density in your body.
Yep.
So doing this practice will help these emotions that are coming up through life right now move through you. And what that space that opens up is so that you can be more conscious and present in the decisions that you need to make right now.
Thank you so much, Chris. Kai, I'm going to pick on you first, and then I'm going to go to Kyle and Kyle. Right? Can we get a little bit of this going on?
Wow. Wow. Now, dude. Amen.
I think we have a bunch of